All right, welcome to Ask Me Anything, episode number one. Here we go. In case you don't know me, my name is Jack Klink. I am a nutritionist and a personal trainer. So, why should you listen to me? There's a million people out there, right? So, let me give you a little bit of what I do. I run an online fitness company called Lineman to Lean. I specialize in helping former athletes, specifically former offensive linemen, but really athletes, people of all different goals, but mainly losing weight. That is a lot of what I do. Myself, I was a former Division I football player. Went to University at Buffalo. Shout out to Mac. I played, got there, 285 pounds, was about 30% body fat. Had a 6-year career, finished as an all-conference player, weighed 305 pounds, 24% body fat. So you heard that right. Gained 20 pounds, lost 6% body fat throughout my career. Really took nutrition and training seriously throughout the past. I've been a tight ends coach at Widener College, a small D1 FCS school. Was also their head JV coach. Following that, was a wildland firefighter out in the Pacific Northwest. Have worked with countless individuals from all different backgrounds, all different goals. But really, what I specialize in now, right? I coach over 30 people currently on my roster of people I work with. Okay, many of them, their goal is to lose weight. Many is just improve body composition, and then some are actually to gain weight. So, work with, like I said, over 30 people. About 5 to 10 of those are current college athletes, spanning from D1 to D3. Also have a few high school athletes as well. But that's a little bit about me. So uh, from there, right, I've worked with 30 people currently since the start of May, really when I launched this, but beforehand worked with over 10 people, helped a bunch of people lose 50, 60 plus pounds, whether it's run a marathon or lose weight to perform as a firefighter or prepare for pro day, things of that sort. Like I said, lost 80 pounds myself, kept it off. So when I I don't even know if I mentioned that. When I finished my career, I was 305 pounds, and then from there, from December to May of 2022, cut down to 225, and have been really kind of staying around there. I've had some health issues the past few years, so I've definitely tried almost every diet and training technique. So very experienced in that. So if you've done carnivore, keto, I understand the problems behind those and the positives behind those. Right? There's always a positive and a negative behind all these approaches. I've done the hybrid athlete thing where I've run a half marathon, biking, doing all that stuff. All right. I've tried the fasting, the 3-day fasts. I've done the fasting for a few months where I only fast on Sundays, eat regular for 6 days a week to get in a deficit, things of that sort, one meal a day, etc. But currently, right, I've helped over 15 people lose 10 plus pounds just in the past 2 months from the start of May until now. And many of those people, it's really been 6, 7 weeks. So this is what I do. This is what I love to do. I've always wanted to do this, and now it's my full-time gig. So let's dive into some questions that I've got on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, throw me a follow, hit me up with some questions, or add a question here in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer those and Ask Me Anything version number 2 coming out sometime in the future once I have enough questions. So my Instagram is Jack, JACK underscore KLENK, Jack Klink. So hit me up on there. Hit me with some many questions. You can feel free to comment on a post or direct message me, whatever you prefer. Okay, so question number one. The best free app for tracking your food intake. Now, this is a great question. Many times people want to get started with improving body composition or just hitting some type of health and fitness goal. And I always tell my clients, right, tracking your inputs then allows us to control the outputs. So of course, you can hit all your goals without tracking the food, but it's very difficult, especially if you haven't done it before. You don't really know the nutrients. And then we're not only talking about calories, but we're talking about the macronutrients. Those are the three main ones: protein, fats, carbohydrates, and then of course micronutrients. This is something for tracking an app. We want to focus on tracking micronutrients. Now, I've seen apps such as MyFitnessPal. I've used that since about 2014 when I really started taking my diet seriously later on in high school. Um, I've seen Cal AI where you can take a picture of your food, it estimates it, puts it in there. But what I use is called Chronometer. So Cronometer, if I have my spelling correct. But the free version of that is very quality. It's going to have some micronutrients, but you're going to have to pay a little extra to get all the micronutrients. But I really do like that one. Some common things with tracking food intake that I will see, right? We need to be tracking what we're cooking our food in. So a lot of times people are cooking them in oils, butters, things of that sort. That's not tracked. So that's why I do recommend definitely at least the first few months when I work with people to be tracking what you're eating, right? Tracking your fat intake. That's typically something people think, oh, I need to pull back the carbs. I need to increase the protein. Typically, I don't see that. I typically am increasing carbohydrates for most clients. I'm typically decreasing fat, and protein's probably remaining somewhat similar depending on their goals and their current intake. But like I said, chronometer would be a great start. Be cognizant of what you eat. Read the label, right? There's so many foods out there that proclaim to be healthy, but when you read the label, it's got, more ingredients than I don't even know, like 50, 60 ingredients. It's got all these binders, lecithins, preservatives. It might proclaim to be healthy, but is that really meant for us to eat, right? I always tell my clients we want to be eating if it grows, right? If it grows out of the ground, if it runs, if it swims, if it flies, right? I've got that from Justin Harris, you said, and Charles Pollock, and um, they say similar things, right? If it grows, if God made it, then that's what we are meant to eat. If it's made in a lab, right? Ideally not. If we get those whole foods, we need to have we overall we're eating less lab created supplements as well. Not saying that they're not um, important to utilize once in a while or sometimes depending on your food intake, but understanding what food you eat will then be able to tell you what supplements to have. If you're just taking supplements, you're just blindly taking pills when you don't know what your body actually needs. And so get some blood tests, see if you need vitamin D, vitamin B12, other things like that, and then track that food and try to hit that through nutritional intake or sunlight for the matter of vitamin D. Okay, question number two. What is my favorite recovery day workout? So this is a good question. I would say it depends on the goal and what you like to do. So for recovering, the first thing would be sleep, right? If you're really beat up throughout the week and you think the recovery workout is going to get you out of feeling better, I would say no. I would say rest. So that would be the first thing. If you're really beat up, maybe you wake up and you see your heart rate is a lot higher than normal, or you have a headache, or you just don't feel right. You just feel overall burnt out, right? Trust your body here. So many people have really high cortisol. Their adrenals are really working overtime, and their thyroid starts to work less and less. It becomes underactive. And that's something I see with a lot of clients. We work on improving the metabolism. So I would say first and foremost would be prioritizing rest. So when you do exercise, they can really be full bore, intense sessions. I believe in intensity when training rather than just, doing a million workouts, but them not being great. Of course, I've done that where I've worked out twice a day for 6 days a week. And, right, everything can work, but just from my experience and what I've seen with not only myself, but clients, sleep would be a big priority, especially if those training days you're working out before work, say you're only sleeping 5, 6 hours. I would say catch up on some sleep for sure. Other things I enjoy doing, like today, I was going to do some type of cardio and was just feeling a little tired. Woke up early for a training session with a client, and after my workout, I hit a bike, 5 miles or 6 miles, 30 minutes, nothing crazy, but biking, low impact. I always find that to be helpful, especially when I'm helping people lose weight. We want low impact type exercise. That's also fun, right? Do it outside, but I would say do something you enjoy. So basketball, pickleball, volleyball, spike ball, play with the frisbee, take your dog for a walk, take a walk with your partner, go for a swim. I took a walk last night just at a field, barefoot, grounding style for 20, 30 minutes. No phone, no shoes, just walking, chilling, getting the frequency of the ground. So also think that would be beneficial as well. Let's see if I got anything else here. Besides that, yeah, take a, sleep. If not, take a nap. That would be great too. If you work from home, take an hour nap at lunch. Or take a half an hour nap, have some coffee. Shout out Coach Gildersleeve at Kansas. He taught me this back at Buffalo, but have some coffee before the nap, fall asleep, and then it's going to kick in and you'll wake up with a little extra energy. So I don't know the science behind that, but I've done it. It works. I've got my coffee right here. So from there, also read. If it's like recovery workout, how about use your brain? That would be a great one. I think reading is just magnificent for self-confidence. As you can see, I got Arnold's book here. I got plenty of other books down here. But reading is fantastic. Just like your training is going to push your body and your mind, right, to improve, to do things it doesn't usually do, to adapt to new stimulus. Reading, I believe, is the same way, and it's really just building that positive confidence that you can do things that maybe you don't want to do, right? I have a checklist of things I got to do for the day. Reading, prayer, things of that sort are on there as well. So, not that I don't want to do them, but they're things that you have to take time for, just as you would have to outline a time for you to work out, outline a time for you to sleep, outline a time for you to read. Create those boundaries within your life so you can recover and then you can perform at a high level. Many times people are just underperforming because they're undersleeping, they're undereating, and then they don't work out hard and then they don't know what to do. So, sorry for the tangent on that one about recovery day workouts, but sleep would be number one. Do stuff you enjoy outdoors would be number two. Low impact. Some type of cardio like a bike or a walk would be number three. And then, of course, reading or taking a nap would be great to integrate into that recovery day. As well. Feel free to stretch, things of that sort as well. Whatever you enjoy. Once again, do things you enjoy. That's not really taxing on you. I think that's great. Movement is medicine. I learned that from Andy Blaze, who's the head football trainer at University of Buffalo. Something I always have taken with me. So, move around, but nothing too crazy. Save that intensity for when you're ready to actually get after it. From there, I've got a good question, and that previous question was from James Hook. The other one was from C Wheels 24. This one I've got it from Zach LaFave, good friend, former teammate at University at Buffalo, somebody who really pushed me hard in so many workouts and still does today. Just a great overall guy. But yeah, somebody pushes me hard. So he's got a good question here, and he's somebody who's very lean himself. And he asks, top five clean, fast, or quicker foods. So I kind of thought, I don't know, I looked at these for like a minute or two before hopping on here. I like to just talk. But what I thought of initially, funny enough, was Greek food. I really enjoy Greek cuisine. It's one of my favorites for sure. And I think about a place in Buffalo called Costa's. You can get a chicken souvlaki salad, get the dressing and the fat on the side, use a little bit of half of that. That's your protein. Is the chicken, you've got plenty of things in a salad, and that usually comes with a baked potato on the side, so that's perfect. You can also get like a skewer of meat, things of that sort. But anything where you can get a solid meat that's not fried, that's not breaded, that's preferably grilled, baked, or broiled, would be a great meat option. Then from there, we want some type of carbohydrate option, like a rice, like a pasta, like brown rice pasta specifically, or potato, sweet potato, quinoa. Those are all great things. Especially when you go out to eat, we want whole food. So when everything's like a mac and cheese or this or a whole skillet of oils and stuff, you don't really know what's in there. It tends to lead to some digestive distress. I know for me, when I don't digest food well, I don't sleep well. When I don't sleep well, I don't perform well. It also impacts mental health. I feel like bloated and just like down and blah. So when we're eating out, we want to be eating those whole food choices. Another thing that came to mind um, was Mexican things that are quick, like a chipotle, right? Get a bowl with brown rice. I mean, I like white rice actually. So white rice, chicken or beef, get some vegetables in there, some of those like peppers, onions, things of that sort, some lettuce, maybe some cheese, maybe some guac. That's a good option. I always think rotisserie chicken is a great option as well. Now, of course, it is cooked in oils and things of that sort. So if you can get one that's not, that'd be great. But a rotisserie chicken at a grocery store, right? You're in a pinch, get a rotisserie chicken. Hopefully you have a cooler. If not, you better be prepared to put some of that down. I'm always, food safety is probably not my strongest suit when traveling. So I'll, 5, 6, 7 hours, I'll risk it. It'll be okay. But if not, get a little cooler, get some ice, whatever. But rotisserie chicken would be a great option, and then get some fruits or vegetables with that. So, if you can get a couple apples, maybe banana, whatever type of, a thing of blueberries, strawberries, whatever, pear, whatever you're feeling for the day, get some kiwis, whatever it may be. Rotisserie chickens could have your protein and your fat sources, especially from the skin if you're eating all the skin. So then from there, get some fruit for your carbohydrates, preferably some filling fruit if you're trying to cut down filling fruit, meaning something that you can have a larger volume of, but isn't very calorically dense, right? If we think of certain fruits like dried dates, those are very calorically dense. For a little of them, I could eat 20 of those things. It's probably, I don't know, 1,000 calories, and that's easy, easy. I could eat a million of them. Now, eat 1,000 calories worth of strawberries, you're gonna have to buy like 4 or 5 cases of those. So, things of that sort, watermelons, cantaloupes, kiwis, but hopefully things that digest well too. Certain vegetables and fruits can sometimes impact digestion. So rotisserie chicken is another one that I thought would be a good idea. If you're going out to a regular restaurant, get a steak or a burger, get the without the bun, get a baked potato with a little bit of butter, get some type of vegetable if it agrees with your stomach, and you're pretty much good to go. Also, if you go into like a diner, those are actually a great option as well. You can get some sourdough toast, hold the butter, and keep it on the side so you can do it yourself. I always think holding the butter or the sauces or the dressings is a smart idea while traveling. Not saying you can't have them, but having them on the side where you can control the portion, because hopefully you've been weighing your food for maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, and you've started to understand what a proper portion fits your diet. So when you have those portions, whether it's jam, butter, dressing, and you understand how much should I really put on, because they're probably putting on 2 to 3 servings when you only need one for some good flavor. So not overdoing those as well, but like a diner, you can get, 4 eggs, some bacon or some sausage. You can get some oatmeal or some sourdough. You can get maybe like steak and eggs. I mean, that's a great combination. And a lot of diners are open throughout the day. So kind of a slept on option too. Pretty affordable as well. Get a coffee or two, they'll refill them for you. Another quick one would be a grocery store, get some cold cuts and some fruit. I'm somebody, people think I'm crazy because I got friends who don't do this, but I'll get like 4 hard-boiled eggs and then like some pineapple or some apples, and then maybe a protein shake from a gas station, and I'm good to go. I got my fats from my eggs, I got my protein from my eggs and my protein shake, and then I have some carbohydrates. Um, you know, from the fruit. Say I get an apple and a banana, that's about 200 calories. A protein shake, 200 calories. 4 eggs, about 250. So we're looking, at a solid 650 calorie meal, 700 calorie meal for 4 eggs, a protein shake, and 2 pieces of fruit, which is a great option as well. We do want to aim for all 3 macros. I've found when you're traveling, you're trying to get something in a pinch, and if you're just saying, I'm not going to have any carbs, you know what, you're going to have cravings throughout the day, and that builds, right? That builds big time, and we want to avoid that. So many times, right, in the morning, man, we can just push through whatever. I'm gonna have some coffee, I'm gonna have barely any food or no food, and then by the end of the day you find yourself binging or eating too much. Cycle repeats for the next day. You're not gonna eat a lot in the morning. Throughout the day you don't eat that much, and then nighttime repeat, repeat, repeat. And before you know it, you're overeating, in just 1 to 2 meals a day. So would prefer to have those balanced out. Protein leverage, meaning have protein throughout the day, and have some sweet carbs like a fruit is a great option, and have, some starchy carb like a potato or rice later in the day. But don't demonize fruit. Definitely have a lot of fruits, got great vitamins and minerals in there. From there, I'm going to get a quick sip, but this one's from Shaquille Ree, former teammate of mine. Um, and he says, how did you transition from football workout intensity and still feel mentally satisfied? Man, that's a great question. That's something that definitely took some time. Um, Initially for me, I was just like, my goal was just to cut down as fast as possible. So I did carnivore for a month. I did keto. I did fasting. Now, did my health get impacted? Yes. I remember doing carnivore in Steel Mill Gym in Buffalo in January. And I was lifting, but I was just significantly weaker and I didn't feel great, but I was losing weight. A lot of it because my glycogen stores were just being depleted from no carbs. Um, but the workout intensity, I think you've got to have a goal, right? And I think it comes down to, right, there's either a soon or there's gloom, right? That's what it comes down to for finding, the next thing, the workout intensity, the enjoyment through exercise, right? If you don't have a goal, you're kind of just aimlessly going. I've seen a lot of guys who are in plateaus and they don't have anything going on. There's just, I'm going to do some cardio, got no plan, got no goal. And it's just like, it's tough to stay motivated doing that, man. It's like, it's really difficult. I'm in a stage right now where I'm just training weights 3 days a week, recovering from some things. Um, and it's tough, but I know, okay, man, at the end of August, I'm turning this up. I'm going to start with 4 days a week of training and then maybe it increase to 5. So I'm pumped up for that. So I'm getting my body ready for that. I know I'm recovering. I have a goal in mind. For even later this year, I've got goals in mind. So for me, creating goals was massive. So at first, it was to lose weight. So I'm going to work my ass off to lose weight, right? I'm going to hit 10, 15,000 steps a day. I'm going to hit half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour of cardio. I'm going to hit hard weight training 5, 6 days a week. Might have overdid it, sure, but it worked. So, this isn't a prescription for people to lose weight by any means. I coach people to do differently than what I did because I learned lessons throughout the time. But Workout intensity, I think helping somebody else or working with somebody else is great. So if you have a teammate or a former teammate or somebody who's competitive and enjoys working out, they don't have to even be at the same level as you. But if there's somebody who really wants to improve, that can invigorate you and it can invigorate them. So I train with somebody right now who's very much a novice for weight training, but I find it to be very helpful and stimulating because I'm explaining the movements. He's starting to learn the movements, and then I'm pushing myself, and then he's slowly seeing, okay, wow, that was pretty easy for you. You got to keep pushing. But simple things like that, training with somebody, right? Um, as a male, as alpha male, as somebody with testosterone in the body, right? You don't want to, you don't want to get shown up by somebody. So when you're working out with somebody, like, I'm gonna like, you don't want to look like soft or weak. So I think that's a big thing too, is training with somebody. It's really helpful who also knows you, who can push you. If not, have goals coming into the training session. Maybe that's texting with a friend and saying, I know back in 2023, I had a friend, Taylor Riggins, and we did the 75 hard together. That was really helpful because even though we weren't together, I was in Staten Island, he was in Rochester, New York. It was helpful knowing somebody else was putting in the work, and we were on a shared Google document. I could see, okay, he put in the work today. He read his book. He did his outdoor workout. He did his indoor workout. He hit his proper meals, whatever it may be. So that was also really mentally satisfying to know, okay, I've got to keep track because when in football or in athletics, um, you're constantly working to improve and you're constantly being compared and competing. So finding a way to compete is also really important. And then also doing something intense, right? It's got to be something you enjoy. I think that's massive. So I loved Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did that for a while. Really found great enjoyment from that. I enjoyed running. That was really an enjoyable thing, not necessarily from the actual, I guess, running, but it was almost meditative. I had no music on, would just run 8, 10, 12 miles, just go. And it was just like proving to myself that I can do this. And it built up the mental capacity for me. So now for weight training, I have certain goals in mind that I want to use weight training to hit certain goals. So of course, I'm going to train hard because I want to hit those goals. And I think putting yourself out there is also important, right? There's so many things in society where it's like I got to be secretive about my goal. I can't tell anybody. I'm a freaking whatever, working in the night and freaking hidden. I think communicating your goals with some people, especially people you train with, can be helpful as well. So, right in football, you had people. At least for me, I had people who held me accountable to my goal. Hey, you want to work out? We want to do this. You better be doing that. You better be doing X, Y, Z to get there. So I think sharing that can be helpful. And then, of course, training with somebody. And then, of course, a big thing would be helping somebody, right? If you coach them, you don't want to like show them improper technique or improper training intensity. Um, so that's a big one as well, for sure. But once again, create a community. That's something I'm definitely working on creating right now as a former athletic or former athlete community where we can all compete, check in with each other, right? That's a big thing too. You're not in the locker room anymore, but continue to push yourself, have an accountability partner, have somebody who you can check in with, have a coach, right? I have a coach myself personally. Who holds me accountable? I'm a coach for 30 plus people, as I mentioned, who hold them accountable. And we are texting daily, meeting, almost every week or very often. Um, so that helps the intensity stay up because and you track the weight and then somebody else sees if you're on a shared drive with somebody, hey, let's do a workout plan together. Let's both, make a Google sheet or whatever it may be. Let's go track our weights and let's see who's going to be stronger this week or send videos to each other. All that's great. And then question number five, the last and final one. Okay. So this is from Sarah Octaviano. My 299, aka 300 pound, 6'1" freshman in high school needs to drop baby weight still. I need it easy. How? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you real easy here. Cut out processed foods. Boom. Okay, you're gonna lose weight. You're gonna lose fat. I'd guess if he's 299, there's a 99% chance he's eating processed foods. Maybe that's Uncrustables. Maybe that's goldfish. Maybe that's trail mix. Maybe that's um, some cereal. Maybe that's some like pre-made egg sliders. Maybe that's some mac and cheese. Maybe that's some chicken patties. Maybe that's I'm just thinking of all the things I ate when I was in high school. But those are all very simple ways to decrease the body fat or the baby weight, as we would say. Um, and then, of course, working out intensely, I would say with a freshman in high school, you can start working out at least 4 days a week for sure of weight training. And then I would definitely incorporate some cardiovascular work, probably some football specific agility, general physical preparedness training in the weight room, probably some sled work, maybe some cardio of like bike intervals on an air bike. But strength train the cardiovascular system through agility training and football specific training, and then feel free to add in extra. You've got to be motivated. If you've got a big goal and you want to do something big, I think as a freshman at 6'1", you can definitely afford to cut down to 270 to 280, where you like your body comp, and then slowly build up. You don't have to be 300-pound lineman in high school. There's plenty of guys who get recruited between 260 and 280. You don't have to be massive. You got to be able to move. You got to be able to block people. You got to be able to block the person in front. If you can't move at 300 pounds at 6'1", then yes, cutting down would be smart. Cutting out processed foods would be the absolute first choice. Cutting out liquid calories in the form of processed foods such as pop, soda, sports drinks would be another great option. Make food in advance, right? Easy. Okay, Sunday, I'm going to make chicken that's going to last until Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to make food that lasts until Sunday. You meal prep twice a week. What do I meal prep during that time? Potatoes and rice as your carb sources, oatmeal possibly in the morning. From there, you pick your meat sources of choice. If you're having meat 3 times a day, preferably 3 different sources. So maybe you get beef, chicken, and fish, or eggs, or pork. Um, or Greek yogurt. There's plenty of different meat options or protein options, but meal prep those in advance, right? If you're having a pound of or 2 pounds of meat a day, and you've got a meal prep for him for 3 days, then you're making about 6 pounds. If it's for the rest of the family and they're eating 6 pounds, you're making 12 pounds. I recommend using the grill or making things in the oven in bulk. Get an instant pot for the rice. You can boil or bake or roast the potatoes as well. Get Greek yogurt, some frozen berries. Um, and those are just some common basics, right? There's a lot of other things you can do, but having meat as your protein source, having quality carbohydrates such as rice, potatoes, and then having quality fruits and vegetables, it should be the base of the diet. You don't really need to eat anything else other than that, right? You've got meat, fish, eggs. You've got carbohydrates, rice, potatoes, veggies, fruit, and then your fats will typically come from your meat sources, or you can add in some saturated fat of your choice. Prefer to stay away from the polyunsaturated fat for the metabolism. And then tracking the food intake, right? That would be a massive thing. And then obviously, what is the goal, the end goal? So what's the goal for this year, right? I like to create short, medium, and long-term goals for all clients I work with. So, right, if the goal is to cut down and lose weight, and you're trying to figure out how to do it, feel free to reach out as well, right? If somebody's going through that right now, that's just what I specialize in doing. I work with, like I said, D1 athletes, or hopefully you go to the NFL, to guys who've been former guys who've been in NFL camps, and D1 O-line coaches, to just, people who, work regular jobs in their 20s, 30s, 40s, who are cutting down. So, but what's the goal? If it's serious, then you need to take the nutrition serious as well. Cut out processed foods, eat things that are grown in the ground, eat things that you can pick off trees, eat things that fly, run, swim. That's what you should be eating, the food that God created. And that's how you're going to help lose some weight initially. From there, track some food. From there, of course, exercise, and you should be good to go. But guys, I don't know how long this has been, but I appreciate the time. Once again, Jack Klink, head coach of Lineman to Leanman. Hit me up on Instagram if you're looking to lose weight, improve body comp. If you're looking to improve performance, right? I said I work with athletes from D1 to D3 to high school. So feel free to hit me up, Jack_Klink on Instagram, and appreciate the time. Hit me with any questions in the comments as well. If there's something that you're wondering or you need a follow up on, feel free to hit me up. I'll do another Ask Me Anything AMA session in the future. But in the meantime, I'll be signing out. Thank you for everyone asking the question. Shout out to Chase, James, Zach, Ja, and Sarah. Appreciate you. And once again, hit me with any questions. Give me a follow on Instagram, Jack_Klink, and I'll talk to you later.